All right, welcome back. Episode 23 of the Vegan Bikini Prep Diaries. I am Brooke, otherwise known as Miss Meatless Muscle, and I'm here with my co-host, Belinda. Belinda, how are you?
I'm good. I am good. I am Belinda. Instagram handle Vegan Body by Belinda. And we're back. We are the most consistent prep podcast on the internet right now. We do not take 3-week breaks like a lot of the other ones. We have been here every single week for most of this year in a way. I think we started it in March. I believe it's 5 months or so, 5.5 months. So yeah, we've been at this a minute, everybody. And we are trying to keep it exciting because we are both in improvement season and the excitement of prep has dwindled and the heels have been removed and the tan has washed off. Has your tan fully washed off yet?
I've actually still got a little bit on my feet. It's crazy.
Yeah.
This tan has been relentless. It's the Olympia tan. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, so for me, each one of my show tans has always been a bit different, but I'm super pale, so they do stick on me for a while. Like I have the little speckles on me for usually like almost a month, and I'm 2 months post show now, and I think my feet finally around my ankles, finally like the tan is gone maybe like a few weeks ago. So,
Yeah,
it will stay on. It's wild. Anyway, so we're trying to keep it exciting for you guys, even though it's an improvement season and it's a little bit, slow in the news around here, but we still have things to talk about because this is a year-long sport and hobby, and whether we're competing or not, we are still gym girls, and so there's always fun gym stuff to talk about. So we were thinking today we would do little updates and where we're at right now and how it's going with us and our fitness journey. And then we'll talk about our training. We thought that would be fun. We could have a little gym rat meathead talk. So, Brooke, you are 2.5 weeks post-show. It feels like, for me, you competed a year ago. It's really weird. I feel like you
it feels like a long time ago.
long ago. Like I like can barely I know you competed just like 2.5 weeks ago, but it feels like so much has happened that like I just like can't even like remember that was so short ago.
Same.
It's wild. And that's why post show is such like a weird period, and it's the same, guys, for any sport. And I've mentioned this on here before, like if you watch the Simone Biles documentary on Netflix, she also talks about like how all of her in her career, it all leads up to the Olympics. She's training for years, and then the Olympics is over, and it's just like, okay, now what? And bodybuilding contest prep is the same thing. You work so hard for so many months, and then you do your show or shows, and then it's done. And that's a wrap. And you go back to just being pretty normal-ish for a while. So 2.5 weeks. I know you've been going through a lot. So we all are giving you grace and a big, big hug. We all love you. Your fans love you. I love you. So we're giving you grace. But why don't you update us on what you want to update us on? How's your, first of all, let me ask you a quick question. Yeah. What's your hunger like? Are you hungry?
Okay, so my hunger, I feel like, honestly, I mean, this is just recent. I would say probably like the past like 3 days has felt much, much more manageable.
Yay.
So that's a relief. Yeah, because I mean, it was crazy. Like I would eat a meal and then I would be hungrier. It was just, off the charts. So I feel like my hunger hormones are finally starting to balance out. I definitely feel like I'm still having some hormonal fluctuations. I'm like we've talked about, I'm going to wait to get blood work. Me and Belinda talk off air about all of this stuff all day. But for people listening, like if you get blood work done almost like immediately after your show, it's going to be shit. Like it's going to be awful.
Yes,
So
save your $200, everybody.
exactly. Yeah, because it's not cheap. So I'm gonna wait like a few more weeks. I think maybe like October, but I definitely feel like my estrogen is trying to come back up, but I feel like it has to be a little bit low still because I'm having some joint issues. Like, and I don't usually have knee pain or elbow pain. So I can just tell that probably my estrogen's a little bit low still. Also, with that, I still haven't gotten my period. I'm on like day 59 or 60, I believe. So that's probably low estrogen as well. Sadly, my sleep is still awful. My sleep is so bad, but that could be stress. So it could be hormonal, could be partly stress. And I'm just really, really tired still. Like I still, even though I'm eating more food, which by the way, I think last time I mentioned my coach had me at 1,500 calories and I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Good girl.
I'm not sleeping. Like I'm getting like 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night. Like I feel terrible. I have no energy. So I don't need to be in a huge deficit. Like I'm not doing it. So I'm shooting for like 1,800 to 2,000, which with the amount of steps I'm getting, I still feel like is somewhat of a deficit. But yeah, I mean, like me and Belinda talked off air and it's just like, it doesn't make sense for me to be in a huge deficit with all that's going on. So I don't need to add more stress to my body. So I decided, screw it. We're not doing 1,500 calories. We're doing 1,800 to 2,000. And if I put on a little bit of weight, like whatever, it's fine. I need to take care of my health right now. So, yeah, my strength is okay. Like it didn't bounce back with a force, but I'm also not sleeping. So, I mean, it could be that too, but it's better, I will say. Like it's improving somewhat.
And it's also only been 2.5 weeks, Brooke. Like
yes.
I know as someone that has gone through her reverse, I'm 2 months post show and I have lived to tell the tale. I would say it takes a full month to really like feel that strength back in the gym, kind of that mojo back in the gym again. It takes like a month. I think 2.5 weeks is still not enough time. And then since your sleep hasn't been good, that's really going to affect everything. But I'm glad that you're eating more. I wanted you to eat more. So I'm glad that you listened to me. I feel victory as a friend.
Yeah.
I just didn't see the point. Like at a certain point in your reverse diet, like you have to make a decision. Like how do I want this to go for me? Do I want to still fit into all my contest prep clothes in 2 months and still be quite restricted? Or do I just want to immediately go back to something like maintenance, accept that I'm going to gain a bit of body fat and just get into back to real life? Because the reality is, guys, we are amateurs. We are not pros. When we are pros one day, I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit different. But for now, we are still just doing our best. And this is not our full-time job. Like this is just a hobby. And Brooke's going through a lot. There's no reason to still be in a diet. Like as a bodybuilder, as a physique athlete, as a fitness influencer, you know, you do always want to be paying attention to your nutrition. And that's also who we are as people, right? That's why we love all this, is we like to eat healthy. We like thinking about these things. But at the same token, like you've got enough going on. You don't need to be starving all day. So I'm glad that you're eating more.
Yeah. And you texted me something and you were saying like, you know, when I tried to stay in a deep deficit, it just made me want to binge more. And that's exactly how I was feeling, because it's like, I would have a breakfast, like my breakfast would be like 400 calories. And then it's like, I get this fear almost. It's like, oh my God, it's 9 a.m. and I've had a third of my calories for the day. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just feel better. Like I can have a big breakfast, have 400 calories for breakfast, and then I still have so much food for the rest of the day. And I just don't feel that need to like inhale everything. So just mentally it's better. And just like for my body with everything I'm going through. So yeah, it's been way better. And so that's helped me a lot. But yeah, I'm just doing my best. You know, I've kept up with my training and my steps, so I'm finally getting a grip on my food. And yeah, just
I'm proud of you. You're doing a good job. You are doing a good job. I'm really proud of you. You're taking it one day at a time. I know this has not been easy, man. So just kudos to you. You know, big claps. And I'm really proud of you. And just keep going. You've got another few weeks where things are going to be a little touch and go. I think once you make it through the beginning of October, you're going to just sort of feel better with the post-show stuff. Takes like a solid month to sort of get over that all those post-show feelings. Okay. So shall we move to my not so exciting updates? Okay. Yeah, 2 months post-show. It is 2 months in 3 days exactly. Because I competed July 19th and we're filming this on September 17th. So yeah, guys, I'm pretty much done reversing. I did the best I could. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible, so that's all that matters. I did my best. I've been really open about this on the podcast and on my Instagram. Your girl has not been tracking food. I actually haven't tracked food the entire year, not even when I was in prep, but we'll go into that some other time. I don't want to go on a whole long tangent about that right now. I just haven't been tracking. It's all in the noggin. I have a mental calculation of how much protein I'm eating and carbs, and I naturally eat a very low-fat diet, as all physique athletes do, right? That's what makes us different than a lot of the other sports that focus a bit on nutrition like we do. Low-fat diet, high protein, and I'm eating a lot of carbs. I'm at the point where if it's a carb, I eat it if I'm in the mood. I am trying to eat a lot on purpose because I'm trying to grow density in my glutes and hamstrings, which is only accomplished in a surplus, I'm sorry to say. I wish it could be accomplished in a deficit or maintenance, but it doesn't really work like that, unfortunately. And I don't have much time to build back there because I'm probably going to start my prep in the winter of this year. So I don't have much time to do what I need to do back there. So your girl is eating. She's not really doing cardio, just a bit of cardio. And I've been a bit of a nut with Brooke about telling her this every day, but my body does not like not doing cardio. It does not like it. Like my sleep numbers, my body is like, you need to like, your resting heart rate is not good. I've just always been someone that's done a lot of cardio. So my body is just really not used to this. But to my point, I don't have much time to grow. So I'm doing it. It's not the healthiest thing in the world to not do cardio. So this is just for the sport. Like if I did not have timeline physique goals, I would be doing more cardio. I would, but I've only got 2 or 3 months to work on my glutes, so I must do what I must do. Steps, I'm trying to keep them under 15,000. It's somewhat easy for me to do that, I guess, but every day I'm averaging like 13, 14, 15,000, but I need them to be closer to 10K again to grow these glutes. So I'm trying. It's like a different type of hard than prep. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I know it doesn't sound like a hard problem to have. Oh, you have to eat a lot and not do cardio. Okay. I mean, it's different. Like I'm a bit uncomfortable in my clothes, uncomfortable like with my sleep stats, uncomfortable with my resting heart rate not being as good as it usually is. Like I'm just a bit uncomfortable, but I know that this is what I need to do, and growth comes from discomfort, and it's just temporary. I'm giving it a go. Like if it doesn't really work on me, I won't do it this way next time. You know what I mean? Like bodybuilding, guys, is one big experiment, really. Like what works for Brooke and what works for me might not be the same thing. There could be another athlete, my height, my weight, and we could have two completely different protocols. So this is what I'm doing this time. And the reason I'm doing it is because I've never done it before. I have never truly tried to not eat that much. And I've never truly tried to eat a lot and not do cardio. I've never really tried that. So I'm trying it this time and we'll see how it goes. Quick update on the timeline. Thinking that in November, I figure out my maintenance calories for November. And then in December, eat at a slight deficit of just like 150 calories less than my maintenance. So I'm like, I'm just going to real slow, easy start to just kind of clean it up and lean in. And then after New Year's, it's go time. Me and everybody else on planet Earth. So that's the strategy. All right, let's move into any questions about my current status or not really? No, just usual. No.
I feel like you did a good job of explaining it. So
yeah, just improvement season. I did check in with myself today. I'm 130.2 pounds. Weight is holding pretty steady, it seems. I think like my body likes being here because I've been that weight for a few weeks now.
You're how much up from stage weight? About 20-ish, or no, 10 pounds?
It's about 10 pounds, but as we know, I need to be leaner next year. So even though it's 10 pounds from this year's stage weight, I'm gonna have to probably go on stage one of the littlest I've ever gone on next year. So it's all got to come off. So whatever I weigh now, it's all got to go next year. So it just is what it is. I'm getting my blood work done in theory Friday, but I'm waiting for my period to come. It's a few days behind schedule. It's still in a healthy range, but it's coming a little later than anticipated. And the hormone clinic I work with, they like me to get it done like the second or third day of my period. So I keep having to like move the appointment. So I'm going to be getting my blood work done soon. And so I'm hoping that everything looks pretty good. I feel pretty good. So we'll see, you know?
Yeah, that'll be a good update.
We will see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's going on. Okay, so let's talk about some gym rat stuff because we could talk about training all day. So, Brookie, why don't you tell everybody? So you're Bikini, I am Fit Model. They are different, sort of. I would assume our training styles are actually pretty similar. It's just a different look on stage. Bikini does have more muscle than Fit Model. Though I will say Fit Model, they're trying to figure out what it looks like. So the criteria is not super clear. But Bikini does have more muscle than Fit Model, different posing. And I would say that there's a different level of leanness. I think that Bikini is probably like a few percentage points leaner than Fit Model. Yeah. But again, it depends on the athlete because the judges like different looks on different people. So that's kind of the difference, if that makes sense. But our training is similar because we are awarded on similar looks. Hourglass feminine shapes is the same for both of our categories. And balance. We're both awarded on balance. What that means in bodybuilding is that when you walk on stage, they don't want the judges don't want their eyes to go to a specific body part. They shouldn't look at you and go, oh my God, her glutes. Oh my God, her delts. They want to look at you and go, wow, she looks great. And that's what's Bikini and that's what's Fit Model. So we have that in common. Your training.
Yeah, they're very similar. Like I kind of think of it as like, you know, the evolution of a Pokemon. Like Fit Model is basically just like the baby Pokemon, and then Bikini would be like the next one. Like it's literally pretty much the same, except just more muscle, more development. So
exactly.
Yeah. I will say, so for my training, and I do think we should preface this with, guys, just because we train this way doesn't mean you should train this way, because
good girl. Yes.
You will absolutely get comments and messages of people saying, oh my God, you train this way. Should I be training this way? Like, blah, blah. No, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't, because we are training for a very specific aesthetic. And like I was about to explain, I'm training based off the judges' feedback. So I've been training a very specific way for the past 3 years because of the feedback I got in 2022. So I have a 4-day split. I do glute hamstrings, push day, which is, for anyone not familiar with push day, shoulders, chest, triceps, glute hamstring, and then a pull day, which is just back and biceps. So I don't have quads. People will notice I don't do a lot of quads because in 2022, I was told that my quads were a little bit too overpowering for bikini. I needed to work on my upper glute and atrophy my quads a little bit so that I would have more balance. My quads were just a little bit too dominant. So for the past 3 years, I really have not trained quads much at all, versus like the little bit of activation I get in hip thrust, or, you know, some, I don't even do squats, maybe leg press, like a glute bias leg press. So that is my split, and my split is very strategic based off what the judges told me to train. So I'm not telling anybody you shouldn't train quads. You guys should absolutely train quads. That's just me personally. That was what I had to work on.
Okay. So 4-day split, 2 leg days, a push day, a pull day. How many exercises usually in each of your days?
I do 6 in each day.
Okay. 6. Does that include warm up?
No, I mostly, my warm up, I just typically walk on the treadmill, and then like my warm up will usually be my first exercise, and it'll just be kind of like it's like a somewhat of an isolation movement, nothing that I would like go crazy on and get hurt on. So if I'm like starting my glute hamstring day, I don't start with hip thrust. I start with like the machine abductions, just because I can warm up. It's higher reps. It's like 15 to 20 reps versus like 10 heavy reps. So that's just kind of how I structure it. Or I mean, even like I do lateral band walks on my other glute hamstring day. Again, it's like I still count that as an exercise. It's still a set. Like I still count all of those sets as like full sets, but it's just a way that I can kind of like warm up and get ready for my workout without, like potentially injuring myself or going too heavy.
Yeah. So I do the same warm up situation. There was a period where I was doing all of these like glute activation warm-ups, and it took like 15 or 20 minutes. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I get it. Listen, like if you have the time, if you have 2 hours to spend in the gym, do all the glute activation exercises you want. I'm not saying they're bad. But for me, that I train at night, usually after I work a whole day, I go to train, and then I have to eat at a certain time because I can't eat too close to bed at night. So like I'm on a schedule. So like that super activation with all the band work, like I do it when I have time, but usually I don't do it. So usually my warm up is walking to the gym, because I walk everywhere. I live in a city. Or if I'm training in my home gym, I live in an apartment building. We have a gym downstairs. I walk on the treadmill like you. And again, I'll start my lifts with, like you, and like sort of an easier exercise, like the abduction, just kind of like get me going. But if you have time to do all that glute activation stuff, feel free. I just don't have the time. Maybe sometimes on the weekend when I train on Saturday or Sundays, I kind of go through more of that stuff, but during the work week, no. Okay, so you're a 4-day split. Um, I have a program that in an ideal world, I'm training lower body 3 times a week and upper once every few weeks. So let me explain. Like Brooke, I train for my category and my feedback. Anybody that follows me online that knows what I look like knows my upper body is not the upper body of a slouch. Like I've got a fairly built upper body. I've got decent delts. I've got a decent back. I have an hourglass shape when I'm lean, not necessarily right now. Lean, I have a nice back V, like a V hourglass look. And the judges told me, you do not need to grow. Your muscularity is perfect for the division. And this year, guys, I have trained my upper body like once a month for Fit Model. When I was Bikini, I used to train it twice a week. Because in Bikini, like your delts are super important, like maybe not as important as your glutes, obviously, but they're up there. Like when you walk out, you gotta see on a bikini girl, nice delts, nice glutes. And it's the same in Fit Model, but they don't have to be as delty. They just need to look good. They don't need to be as round as in Bikini. And so since my upper body is already quite developed, I don't need to train it really anymore. I still do touch it though. Like maybe every 3rd week, I'll do an upper session, either back, either shoulders, either arms. Like I'll kind of play with it. I have, I write my own programming. I have a back and bi day. I have I call it an arm wrap day where I consider it like all my arms. And then I have a special like delt only day. And I just sort of do one of those like every 3-ish weeks. Every once in a while, I'll break the rules and I'll do an extra upper body day just because I miss it a lot. Let me tell you, when I'm not a competitor anymore, I will train my upper body like I was training it before. I definitely am in a weird spot in my bodybuilding career, because I miss training my shoulders. I do. That pump you get in the gym.
That's one of my favorites. I can't imagine not training shoulders. I know. I've seen
so much.
I've seen a lot of bikini girls who are like Vanya, for example, say like they only train shoulders like once every 3 weeks or something like that. And I can't imagine. Like that's probably when I'd give up bodybuilding because I love shoulder day.
I have to say, like, it's been hard for me. But I'm very like a positive thing about me. I'm going to toot my own horn. I know that this is not forever. Like, I know that this is just a chapter in my fitness journey and it's not going to be forever. So it's okay. So that being said, I train lower 3 days a week. I am in a build block right now where my training, taking advantage of my high food and no cardio, my lower body days are brutal. They are so brutal that I need usually 2 to 3 days before I train again. So my 3 lower body days are not necessarily falling onto a 7-day calendar. It's sort of like 10-day calendar. I take a lot of my inspiration from John Meadows, who's a very, very famous, rest in peace, bodybuilding coach, like one of the biggest bodybuilding legends of all time. And I take a lot of my training tips from him. And so a lot of my leg movements and the way he does them are in my current training program, and they are insane. So I'm sore for days after. And when I was in prep, I was really just doing like standard bikini-ish girl training. I wasn't really sore that often. Just my like standard movements that you probably do. I'm in a different phase now. I'm in a building phase where I'm really hammering my glutes and hamstrings, like to a point where they have no choice but to grow. So that's what I'm doing currently. So 3 leg days. One is I call it the squat of death day. So that's like my big squat day. I have a Bulgarian split squat death day. And then I have like a more accessory movement hamstring day. And then in my program, I also have an extra day, which is just like a cable glute day, where if I'm still too sore to train heavy like that, I have a day that I can just stand at the cable stack and do what I need to do.
So when you're doing your training, so what is your rest days look like? Because you don't have like, I think you're like me, you don't do like Monday legs, like Tuesday push. So yeah, I'm the same way. I do, because like you, I really train based off of how I feel. Like I listen to my body, and if I'm really ungodly sore, I don't train. Like, because I, after years of forcing myself to train 6 to 7 days a week, I used to be that person. I realized you make so much more progress when you rest. And so I really like 2 days on, 1 day off. That works really well for me. Is that kind of how you do it?
Yeah, I guess it kind of falls into that. It's like 2 days on, 1 day off ish. But on my rest days, so that was a good question. So on my rest days, I don't necessarily rest. So I go to hot yoga twice a week. Now this is in my build block. So I go to hot yoga twice a week. So 2 of those non-training days, I do a hot yoga session. And then I also, I'm not doing cardio now, but I do sprinkle in like a 20 or 30 minute Peloton class, maybe once a week, because I told you I'm really struggling physically and mentally with less cardio. Like I feel like I don't feel good. But this is part of bodybuilding. Like this is part of the sport. So it just is what it is. I rest fully once a week, usually Sundays, just kind of by default. It kind of happens that way. Not really on purpose, just, Sunday doing chores and, What about you? Your rest days? So you have 4 days you train. And I know you well enough to know I don't think you do any extra curricular. So you only do those 4 training days. What do you do like the other 3-ish, what do you do on your rest days?
I just do a lot of walking. When I was in prep, I would still do cardio. So I would do the elliptical or, whatever. But now I just go, like when I would be training, like the hour to 45 minutes I would be training, I just go on like a long walk outside.
Yeah. Let's back up because Brooke made a good point. This is both of us in off season, by the way.
Yes.
Prep, different. Prep, you are training. Were you training only 4 days a week in prep too?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, same for me. But Brooke and I also, our feedback for both of us was our muscularity was on point for the division. So Brooke and I are in the same position that we don't necessarily need to grow. And the reason, and so you're probably like, but Belinda, why do you need to grow your hamstrings? Because I know something the judges don't know. So the judges only can judge you on what they see at the moment. They don't know you. They don't know your routine. They don't know what you look like in off season. They only know what they see that day. And I know my back shot. I need this depth to my tie-in that I just don't have yet. Like I know that's what I need. Like I know my muscularity is great. My fullness of my glutes is great, but there's just this depth to my hamstrings that just doesn't exist yet because I've only been training 6 to 8 years, 10-ish years total. It just hasn't developed enough yet. It hasn't. and my genetics, I have super high glute insertions. So my tie-in, it's like way up in there. So to get it to show, I really have to build like this density. So even though the judges told me my muscularity is on point, I know that there's this thing I need. So anyways, I'm really working on targeting that. But
and density comes from training really, really heavy, like for a long time. So yeah, I think you're doing the right thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a go. Brooke and I talk about this a lot. Like, we don't know how long we're gonna be competing. We both want to compete next year. It's very possible that after next year, I might have to hang up my heels for a little while, because if my back shot does not have the look I want it to have by next year, I know that I have to take time off, even though I don't want to. I wish I could do it forever, but I know that I need to grow that density back there. So we'll see how it goes. I don't have much time to work on it this year. But anyway, in prep, though, you don't really have rest days. In prep, you have to do your cardio, your calorie output, your steps every day.
Yep.
So so that's that story. But in off season,
a rest day just means like not hitting the weights day, but you're still doing cardio. I know. Yeah, you're still doing your steps. You're still doing all of that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you're training. What's your favorite lower body exercise? Or if you can't pick one, what are your like top 3?
I mean, call me basic, but I love hip thrusts. I mean, I have really good mind muscle connection. With hip thrusts, I can really activate my glutes well. I like hip thrusts because you can do barbell, you can do Smith machine, and I mean, I get really good results from both. Single leg hip thrust. I mean, I love them. I just, it's one of my favorites for sure.
Do you only, so you just mentioned single leg hip thrust. Do you, so do you always do like a standard hip thrust, or do you also sometimes do single leg?
Yeah. So on my first glute hamstring day, I do regular, your standard barbell hip thrust. I do them on the Smith machine because I do have a bulging disc. So I find that when I do the barbell hip thrust, and I actually like, I have to get the full range of motion, like off the ground, like push the barbell off the ground, it gets my back. So the Smith machine, I can start in like the full, like hip extension position. So I don't have to do the full range of motion, gives my back no issues. So I do the Smith machine. And on my second glute day, I do single leg hip thrusts with like just a kettlebell.
Oh, just a kettlebell.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I love those. Yeah.
And you, so you're laying on the floor and you have the kettlebell on your hips and you're just pushing up and down, or is your leg elevated on something?
So I usually will use just a bench or like like those the platforms. We have one of those at my gym.
Okay, so you're laying on the bench. Okay. And then you're going up and down. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I do that when I'm in a hotel gym. I never really do that at my gym, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just do higher reps. Yeah.
True.
What's your favorite?
Okay. For a lower body day,
that's a tough one, isn't it? There's so many good ones.
It's really tough, guys. It's really tough.
We're such nerds.
It's like you're asking me a very serious question right now. Okay, I just want to back up for a second. So I, like Brooke, did not train quads for 3 years. 3 years. I only recently started training my quads a little bit again, because in Fit Model, the way we pose, it makes your extended leg look skinny. So even though I got quads, the way it's posed, it like I lose my quad. So I have to start training them again. Even though the judges didn't give me that feedback, but I know my physique, and like I know when I get leaner, I need to have like a bit of a pop. So all of that being said, I'm back to squats, my original favorite lower body exercise, and I'm in building mode right now. And my squat day is my favorite because I know you don't do squats anymore. You did do squats though in the past, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure you've done plenty of squat in your lifetime.
Oh,
I'm back to doing squats, and let me tell you, I miss them, man. Like, there's nothing like lifting heavy squats. You feel strong, like your legs are toast, you know, your butt feels great in a good way, like it's sore. You know, like they do the trick, man. They really do. Like there's nothing quite like it. So I would say like a heavy squat, and my squat of death day now, and if you're in my broadcast channel, I've posted it a few times. So what I do, and this is a John Meadows technique, is I warm up as many sets as it takes until it starts to feel heavy and hard. So that's usually like 4 or 5 sets of warm-ups. Then I go into 3 working sets where each of those 3 sets, the final like 2 or 3 reps need to feel close to impossible. And I'm not doing these squats like a power lifter. I'm doing them like a, you know, bikini or fit model girl. So I'm doing them with time under tension, slow, you know, not necessarily as heavy as a power lifter, but man, they feel great. Like I walk out of that, I'm hobbling, like it feels so good in a sick masochistic way. So I would say squats, but before, like in my prep, I would say that I know this is so like lame, but I mean like I like a elevated Smith machine RDL, so I can really stretch really far deep into it. I like that. It's kind of a cool exercise. You can really feel the I mean everybody's body is different, but I can really feel the mind muscle connection really well. Okay. Shoulders, what's your favorite delt exercise?
Lateral raises all the way. All the way. I
just basic B dumbbell lateral raise.
I love the pump. I love the pump from a lateral raise. And like especially when I'm in prep, oh my God. I don't mean to sound narcissistic, but man, I just looked like a freaking freak doing these lateral raises, like all like every single striation in my shoulder and like just veins popping. And I was just like, oh my God, like I love this shit. Lateral raises all the way. Lateral raise drop set, even better. Like,
okay, so tell me about your lateral raise. So do you how many sets do you do? How many reps? Like what's your situation?
Well, again, I don't need to build muscle. So I pretty much just do 3 sets of every exercise all of my training days. So everything is 3 sets. Lateral raises, I usually stick with 15 reps just because, again, like I'm not trying to pack on muscle. So it's more so just like keeping what I already have, getting a good pump. Yeah, I love them.
Okay. Standing or seated?
Standing, definitely.
Okay. Well, poor Belinda isn't really allowed to train her delts anymore. My delts are on the bench for the foreseeable future.
So sad.
It's really sad. Like I'm actually tearing up a little bit, like honestly, just thinking about it. But so I would have to say, like, yeah, I mean, lateral raises, like
they're so good.
And I love dumbbell ones, but I also love
the machine
when I'm not in a rush. So at my normal gym that I'm currently on pause for because I needed to put myself in cardio timeout. At my normal gym, that I'm not a member of right now, they have this seated lateral raise machine.
So good. Yes. I love those too.
Love it. And that machine, I do a drop set on. So I'll start it at like 50 pounds and I'll eke out a few reps. I can't do that many. I mean, that's really heavy. And then I go all the way down to the bottom and I just go to failure like each time. Now that I'm saying this out loud, this is exactly why I'm not allowed to train my adults anymore, because I train them like a monster. Okay. And then something fun about that machine is, so lateral like this, but then sometimes I'll sit side on it. And let's say like the thing is here and I'll do front raises on the machine. Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And sometimes I do that at the end of my drop set and I'm holding like this and I'm going and I'm like grunting and everyone's looking at me like, oh my God, this crazy girl. So
I love front raises too.
I love that machine. But when I'm not in a rush, I love cable single arm lateral raises because you can hold on to the cable stack or the pole and you can go nice and slow with that low weight, you know what I'm talking about? And you can like really hold it when you go out. And when you're in prep and you're really lean, that shit looks so good. Like you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like,
yeah, you got that constant tension on the muscle, whereas with the dumbbells, you don't really get that. So the only problem with the cable is that sometimes, like I know my gym, like the cables just start way too high, and there's like one cable that you can really do it on where it's like 2.5, 5 pounds,
right,
you know,
right,
7.5, and it's like always taken. So that's the only issue with those. Yeah,
I hear you. And then of course the single arm also just takes longer.
Yes.
Okay. Let's bring up something real quick that I'm sure the peeps want to know about. Do you train your core? And if you do, what do you do? A lot of bikini and fit model and wellness, actually, ladies, a lot of us do not train our core because like any muscle group, it grows when you train it. And we are judged on a very tiny waist. So bikini, fit model, wellness competitors, we're very like careful about our core exercises. So what core work do you do, if any?
Yeah, so for a very long time, I only did ab vacuums, and it was just until North Americans, actually, my coach told me I needed to start training core, and I don't know, I agree, honestly. I feel like my core was an issue for sure at North Americans, and really like this whole year, and I knew it was. I just did not have that etched in look. And so I feel like that was an issue with me only doing ab vacuums. But, you know, like you said, I previously had a bodybuilding coach, old school bodybuilding coach, who said, never train your core. Like you're going to get a thick waist. And I thought that meant never training my core at all. But now I realize you just can't train obliques and you can't train like a bunch of heavy, like, you know, like doing like 60, 80 pounds, like on the crunch machine. It just basically, you know, will make your waist thicker. So now what I'm doing is just doing like some body weight leg raises. I'll do that on my upper body day, and planks, and ab vacuums, and just like regular decline crunches with no weight or anything. But I'm doing that now to try to like get that etched in core for next year.
Yeah. I have the same situation. I didn't train my core much at all. However, I'm a yogi and I do a lot of core work in yoga. So I guess I did train my core plenty. I have a very strong core. I can outplank almost anybody I know. Like in yoga, I last longer in the plank than everybody. So I mean, my core is really, really strong, but I need more definition in my core, probably something similar to what you're saying. I do get ab lines. You can see muscle definition, but I would like just a little bit more for my own personal aesthetic. So I do train a bit of core now, just here and there when I have time, once or twice a week. I pick up like a 25-pound plate and I do maybe like some decline, like, decline crunches with a plate, just a few sets. Like, I don't overcomplicate it, just a little bit, because I am looking for just a little bit more definition next year, but not much though, because my core is pretty good. But I do personally also want like a little bit more. But yeah, core is like a funny thing. You don't want to overtrain it because you don't really see it until you're super lean. So you don't want to waste a lot of your time in the gym training your core. You should focus more on the body parts that are important. And then when you have time, do a little bit of core work here and there. Yeah. Anyway, I know you have to go. This was so fun. And I'm glad we got to nerd out a little bit. We'll do this more because I know we just sort of touched in a little bit, like as a summary of our training, but maybe we can do another episode where we go a bit more in depth and everything. But happy reversing. You got this, girlfriend. Just keep on keeping on. And I'm really proud of you. And we're just going to keep doing this thing. And we'll be back next week because we are the most we are the most reliable bikini prep podcast on the internet.
Yes, and if you don't believe us, look it up.
Okay. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Bye. You too.